What is up, everybody? Today I'm bringing you the updated 1 bar Stamina Arcanist. Now, this build is a blast. It did get a pretty heavy hit from U43, the Arcanist did as a whole, but that does not take away from how fun this class is. I'm going to walk you guys through it. I'm going to show you and explain to you what the differences is from pre and post patch. We're going to go through the skills, the sets, and I guarantee you guys are going to love it. Let's get into the character sheet right away. So first things first, I'm an Imperial, as I usually am on these builds. Anything that is stamina based will work just fine here. The Oaken Soul Ring more than compensates for any other race discrepancies. I am running 32 health, 32 stamina. That has a little bit of wiggle room. Just stay over that 32k health, but I'm sticking close to 35k health with this guy. 25k stam, 18k magic. We're not using a lot of magic. It's periodic use. Not a big deal. All from the ring, I am running the Thief Mundus, and my food is bugged right now, but I am running the Witch Sugar Skulls, or on this build, since you don't need a lot of magicka, any sort of stamina-based food will work just fine. I don't suggest running the Gold Crazy or Zaga's Bear Haunches or anything like long fish pasty sauce, lava foot soup, any of that will work. For our skills. So our skills, we're going to start out the alt. Gibbering Shelter. This is the tankier, more team utility version of the damage version. So there's two splits here. I went with the Gibbering Shield Shelter, and the other one is I think the ink shelter or ink Gibbering Shield. So if you want to help the team, if you're playing with a group that you know and you like and you want to be helpful, this is the one to pick, because instead of doing damage, this shield absorbs damage and it cascades out up to 11 allies within 15 meters, granting them a damage shield for 4 seconds that absorbs up to 11k damage as well. And those shields are applied every 4 seconds. So this helps the team, whereas the other one does damage. I like helping the team. I like being a little bit beefier, so I'm running this. If you are okay with just doing damage and you don't need to help the team, if you run with a squad of 3 Dragon Knights or 3 shield spamming sorcerers, you don't need this. But I like doing this because the friends I usually play with run steadfast DPS, so this helps us out a lot. Now, for our normal skills, I'm running Rune Guard of Freedom, Resolving Vigor, Flail, Pragmatic Fate Carver, and Rune of Colorless Pool. Now, Rune of Colorless Pool, 3,500 magic at a cost. It's not that bad. This is, in my opinion, one of the dirtiest stuns in the game. You cast it, after 1 second it stuns them for 4 seconds. It applies minor vulnerability and minor ability for 20 seconds, increasing their damage taken by 5% and their crit damage taken by 10%. That is a fucking death sentence if one of your teammates is a Nightblade, running the standard Nightblade 1 bar bow gank. So this is one of the dirtiest stuns in the game, strictly because it's 4 seconds and it stuns them anywhere they are. If they're in the sky and they jump, it stops them in the air. I love this stun so much. It's one of the main reasons why I love the Arcanist. It is great, it is funny, and I just love it. And it makes a fun noise, and it puts a little green ball on their head, and it's fun. So this I love. It is a flex spot. You don't have to run this. You can definitely run Spiteward Elusive Mind for a little bit of tankiness and survivability. It gives you a nice little damage shield. But honestly, we're so beefy on this build, I don't even care to use this. I used it in some of the footage. I didn't use it that much. It costs a lot of magic. We don't have a lot of magic, and I like this stun. Pragmatic Fate Carver. This is our beam. You cast this when you have 3 Cruxes. It does a shit ton of damage with this build. It is just disgusting. Get good at aiming at it, and you're going to mop people down. Now the Flail. They did nerf this. This is the big change, everybody. Pre-U43, this was an execute. It's no longer an execute. It does everything else. It's not an execute, and they lowered the healing and they changed it. So now, if an enemy is hit, you heal for 3792 of health once per cast. So it doesn't heal you like per hit, it is once per cast. So this does not heal us that much. Now it still applies Abyssal Ink, so they take 5% more damage for 20 seconds. So if you stun them and hit them with that, they're taking 5% damage, 5% damage, 10% more damage, and then 10% more crit damage. So they're getting hurt, but it applies Abyssal Ink, it immobilizes them for 3 seconds, and it does around 7k damage right off the bat of physical damage. And it applies a Crux. Well, it generates a Crux, so we're going to use this 3 times. Beam. That's what we're doing. Resolving Vigor, this is just a nice heal. You pop it, heals over 5 seconds. Staple of PvP, no big deal. If you don't care to not run it, there's plenty of other utility items you can run, but I really like having a heal, so I'm running it. I tried to run it without it, didn't have a good time. And then Rune Guard of Freedom. I love Rune Guard of Freedom because it gives us minor resolve. We don't care about that. It gives us minor protection. We like that, but it doesn't really care because of the ring. But with this, when you drop below 50% health, minor protection is consumed to heal you for about 12,500 health. And it scales off for max health, and you gain 3,000 armor, crowd control immunity for 6 seconds. Now, the immunity doesn't happen every time because the immunity has a 30-second cooldown, but the heal does not. So you can spam this with Resolving Vigor, and it will keep healing you. Now, it is 3,200 magicka, so you can't just spam the hell out of it, and it does take a second for it to proc, so it's not the best spam heal, which is why we have Resolving Vigor, but it is a good heal. You put this on, it lasts 20 seconds, and you just make sure you don't get hit, and that's it. It is a good little heal, makes us tankier, love it, and it's just a set and forget. You put it on when you're fighting, make sure it doesn't run out, and you're good to go. All right, so for our champion points, we are running pretty straightforward stuff, except for one part is a little weird, and that is Master at Arms is our first blue, and although Fate Carver is our number one type of damage from this because of Flail getting nerfed, so Fate Carver is our heavy hitter, it actually does scale with direct damage attacks. It just so happens to be continuous direct damage hits. It's not a damage over time. It's not area damage. It is considered direct damage from everything I can find and what I've noticed. So it is Master at Arms. That's what we're running to scale up Fate Carver. Now we're also running Fighting Finesse to get those crits in there. Focus Mending for better heals. Ironclad for less damage taken. We're running Survival Instincts, Celerity, Pain's Refuge, Balanced Vitality. All very straightforward PvP setups for CP. Alright. Now, to get into the sets, the part that everyone likes to talk about. First things first, the big thing is we are still running Deadly. Now, Deadly is a staple to many classes these days. And we're running the Deadly Bow, Boots, Belt, Legs. Now, the bow is the important part. If you can get it in sharpened, that helps a lot get that penetration up. Weapon damage enchant is a great help. You can run something like Disease if you want to. The weapon damage enchant does help a lot because we like that proc. We like more weapon damage because then it really ups the Fate Carver, but it's not a game breaker. So if you have a specific enchant, I personally love Crusher as well, but weapon damage enchant works great with this. I don't know. I just have a lot better luck with it proccing on weapon damage enchant. I don't know why. Of course, the Oaken Soul Ring, infused weapon damage. Now we're also running Clever Alchemist, the full set, with Slime Cross Shoulders. Now, Clever Alchemist, since it's a crafted set, I'm running a heavy chest, reinforced stamina enchant. And then I'm running head, medium divines, and then light hands divines, so we can get that one light and that one heavy. And then we're running Deadly Belt, Boots, Guards. So the Guards are in divines, the Boots are invigorating, and the best in slot here, if it's not divines, so chest, make it heavy, make it reinforced. We want that armor. That armor's 3,000. If you gold it, it's like 3,200, 3,300. We want that for survivability. for the, if you want to, you can make the head heavy as well. But for anything that isn't the chest, or if it's not divines, try to get it in well fitted, because since we're stamina based, we're going to be using a lot of stamina fighting, so you don't want to blow through it by running. Now, interchange it as you want. As I've said before, things like this don't make or break the builds. That's why I don't have these transmuted. But like, the best bet you can have here is well fitted to lower that sprint cost, or divines if you want to focus damage. Because if you're doing enough damage, it's worth having to walk. If you're really liking to zip around more, like I'm running the necklace with bloodthirsty, you can swap both of these. You can swap all three of these to swift, since we don't have a pickup skill, to just increase your running speed, and then when you roll dodge, you'll be absolutely just flying. But I would recommend, if you're looking for damage, run all three of these run all jewelry infused weapon damage, and then run every piece that isn't divines on the body besides the chest. Run those in either well fitted, or of course divines for damage, well fitted for stamina, sprint reduction cost, and then always keep the chest reinforced, and then keep that bow sharpened. So those are the sets. And you cast the Freedom Rune. We're sitting at almost 24k spell resistance, 23k physical resistance. We've got the resistances. We've got high health. There's absolutely no problem here. We are a beefy, mobile, run around bow fighter, and it's a fun build. It's a great time, and I'm really happy that the Arcanist was able to survive this fight, this problem that U43 brought to it by getting rid of the execute. I'm glad that it was able to get on the other side and still be a fun class and still be enjoyable and not get nerfed into the ground like they did with the Necromancer. And Necromancer's clearly on its way back up right now, but like, they very well could have just absolutely decimated it like they did with the Necromancer, where it's still trying to crawl out of the hole that they put it in. And luckily, the Arcanist is definitely not in that position. This one bar build is still very fun. It works great in cyrodiil and in group content. In solo content, I wouldn't advise it too much, because of the fact that in cyrodiil, it's not that fun to play solo. That's the only reason I don't advise it. In Imperial City, it works great solo. Absolutely no problem. You have enough sustain. You have the stun, you can run away, the Fate Carver, you can hold your own damage and tankiness-wise. Solo in Imperial City, absolutely no problem. Queuing into Battleground solo and fighting whole groups, no problem. But Cyrodiil solo, you're not going to 1vx a 12-man group. It's just not going to happen. Not right now, though. Not with this build. You might be able to swap out some pieces and go even tankier. And I'm not running Vampirism, so if you throw on Vampirism, you can get a little bit more of that low life health sustain. But on this current build, I think it's really fun. You don't have to run Vampirism. You can just jump in, throw this stuff on, have a blast. And yeah, this is the updated One Bar Arcanist build. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for checking out the channel, supporting the channel, stopping by, commenting, liking, viewing. As always, love you guys so much. Thank you much for the support. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, join the Discord, come hang out. I'll eventually get back to streaming, but as of now, this is where we're at. I'm just enjoying doing the build videos and other content stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for coming out. As always, here's some footage of the build. Have fun, guys.